That's just another psyop because they want you to think that that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
They want you to think that, like, oh, our phones are listening. It gave me this ad.
Everything
something
is
I was
listening.
thinking about.
Your TV is listening.
That's still just a psyop because the function of what it's actually doing is far worse. We're starting to realize that the psyops and the manipulation, they almost run so deep that it's difficult to even articulate the point that we're trying to make sometimes. And it's even more difficult to get someone to agree with you and understand the words that you're even saying.
It's like trying to think about the universe and the Big Bang, or trying to imagine a million of anything.
Yeah.
Your brain simply can't comprehend it. So it just kind of stops. It's like it reaches a point and it stops and forces you to think about something else.
Yeah.
Because you just can't. It's like thinking about death or what comes after death. Kind of just, you reach a point where it halts and there's nothing else after that. It redirects you.
Yeah, exactly. We live in a time where everyone wants immediate clarity for things and validation and answers right away. But, you know, the answer for pretty much anything, the answer is never immediately apparent. And
when you think you've reached a conclusion, dig deeper.
Yeah, it goes so deep that we're having a hard time trying to figure out how to say the things that we want to say. And when you actually believe that you've figured something out and you know something to be true, then it's just actually the tip of the iceberg, and it keeps going down even further.
Mm-hmm. There's layers and layers and layers.
The lies are layered beneath other lies, and just layered.
I mean, for example, when it comes to, like, now everyone's come to the conclusion that Israel is behind everything, and the Rothschilds are behind everything, or the Rockefellers are behind everything. And that's great if you find comfort in that. I don't.
There's always a higher entity.
Who's running them? And it goes up. The Rothschilds are actually very low on the list.
And most people think the Rothschilds are just like running the world, but no, there's always something greater than them. It's like kids listen to their parents, and then parents take orders from their boss, and then their boss takes orders from the owner of the company, and then the owner of the company takes orders from the bank.
And they take orders from the state, and the state takes orders from federal government, and the federal government takes orders from, and it just...
from politicians, and then politicians take orders from the president. And the president takes orders from, you know, other countries or other world leaders.
Illuminati, Rothschild.
The cartel.
This is kind of how it goes, as far as I understand. It's the Rothschilds. They're low on the list. They're what they want you to see.
The Rothschilds take orders from the Jesuits.
This is the family they want you to see. Black nobility is at the top of the list, but something is above that. And
so what, the Jesuits take orders from the black nobility?
Black nobility is above all of it. The Jesuits take orders from the black nobility. All of the mafias take orders from the black nobility. All of the mafias and all of the Jesuits are above the Rothschilds.
Right, so now we want to know who gives orders to the black nobility.
It's not human.
So we believe that all of these organizations take orders from a higher up entity that is just some type of non-human. It's not possible for this being to be a human.
And you can only go back so far. Like, we're talking like 1500s. So you can only go back so far. And if you can go back that far, and there's no history before that, and we got supposedly, I don't know where we got our intelligence from. A lot of people talk about that. Like, how are we building the architecture that we were building that we can't do today with hand tools, that no one can achieve today?
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence showing that there was something non-human that provided us with technology and intelligence.
All right, we got a little off track there. So what we wanted to talk about was how they're intentionally making us aware of certain things for one reason or another. Like, for some reason, it seems like they're pushing the narrative of they want people to dislike Trump right now. Like, even though it's pretty easy to dislike Trump, but I mean, they're making it easy. Like, they're intentionally putting things in your face that are causing you to not like him.
And more than ever.
And I don't like him. but it's possible it's because of everything that they're intentionally making us aware of.
But it's more than ever before, and it almost feels like they've been planning for him to be the president forever, because he was never really likable. Anyone that worked with him before,
he never was likable.
He was never likable. Everyone had complaints about him.
And I didn't want to give anyone the wrong impression, because I don't like him at all. I'm just making a point that they're intentionally trying to cause you to land on specific conclusions. And like the Israel thing. Like they want us to not like Israel right now.
They want you to think that you reached the end.
And they want people, if you have this opinion, they want people to be like, oh, like you know what I mean? Like argue, like, what do you mean? Oh, why do you not like Israel? Like, oh, are you one of them? You know what I mean?
Don't. I think regardless, no one should be blaming all Jewish people. I think it's wrong for people to blame all of Israel, because really the problem is Zionists. And then the problem is above that. They're being controlled by something else.
That's what we mean by the lies are layered.
But so a lot of, if you can't really hate all Jews, because now we're going towards something that really, they want you to do that. They want you to hate Israel. That's the whole point.
This is a good example.
They want you to hate all Jews because they want to create a war and a divide when really it's just Zionists.
But it makes sense because they have been planning this war the entire time.
Yeah.
But this is a good example. Like, so how Erica Kirk is intentionally acting suspicious. So her intentionally acting suspicious is not only pushing you into Candace Owens, the controlled opposition, but it's also causing you to believe that Erica Kirk had something to do with Charlie's death. And the conclusion they want you to come to is that Erica Kirk and Israel conspired to get rid of Charlie. And I'm not saying that Erica Kirk is innocent in any way, but I'm just saying that is a conclusion they want you to land on. Like they wanted you to oppose the official narrative of what happened to Charlie. That's completely obvious.
But that was also part of their plan. I talked about that in our last video, that she's doing it on purpose. Everything that she's doing is on purpose, because if she wanted you to believe what the mainstream media wants you to believe, she would be fake grieving her husband. Because I do believe that she's evil. I do believe that she's a horrible person. But I also know that horrible, evil people can fake emotions to convince you of what mainstream media wants you to think. So, it's pretty blatant.
It's completely obvious that she's doing everything completely on purpose, because it's like there's a video of her putting eye drops in her eyes before going out on stage or something so that she would have fake tears. But that video was intentionally captured and put out for us to see, so we could be like, oh my God, did you see Erica putting in fake tears? She's such a phony. Why isn't she at home grieving with her kids? This is all intentional.
She's done nothing but be out in the public eye since her husband died, and she has 2 young children.
They want people to hate her.
That is, and I do hate her. I think she's horrible. But someone who is horrible and evil is 100% going to try their best to convince the public that they are grieving if she really wanted everyone to believe that Charlie is actually dead and he actually got assassinated and it wasn't her fault, she'd take all eyes off of her. But she's putting all eyes on her and then putting everyone in Candace's arms. And then leading somehow all of the roots of this tree lead back to Israel every time.
Yeah, and they want
it to be that way. That's why they've committed a genocide. That's why they've been doing this for 70 years or more? They weren't on the map.
We know that Israel is our enemy, but they're almost intentionally creating that. You see what we're saying? Like, it's difficult to articulate what we're even trying to, the point we're trying to get
Because
across.
World War III is supposed to be a war between Zionists and Islam. Zionists and Muslims. That is supposed to be World War III. We're already there. America is helping. We've been there. No one ever called World War I or World War II world wars until after they happened. So everyone keeps saying, well, we're not in World War III. Yes, we are. We've been here.
Right now, it's a psychological civil war. That's what's happening right now because...
And that's part of World War III.
Exactly. It's not always going to be, one side versus another and then just shooting at each other. It's different than that.
And it's also been a forever war. And I think people forget that too, is wars don't end. Wars are forever. So there is constantly war going on everywhere. We always have our finger in every pie. Like Obama, I think it was every day of his term, like his presidency, he bombed somewhere. Like he spent every single day bombing.
But yet you were made to believe that he was the good guy, even though he's a Mason.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is that they knew that this would be the age of the awakening. They knew that this was going to happen. So what they're doing is they're intentionally creating paths for you to follow to make you feel as if you are awake.
And I think
they're fully controlling the awakening process right now for most people who believe that they're awake just because they're opposing official narratives. But it's exactly, you're just falling for the traps. You're doing exactly what they want you to do.
That's what I mean about...
They're leading you to these conclusions.
About astrology, where revolutions happen about every 250 years because of where Pluto and Aquarius or wherever like these planets are. Pluto has the longest revolution. So whenever Pluto is involved and Aquarius is involved, there is major change, upheaval, like complete, everything you knew is going to change. Revolutions fall on that time every time. Albert Pike's letter wrote out how they were going to do it for World War I, World War II, and World War III. It happened for each right on time. And I believe, they based it on astrology because there were revolutions around all of those times. The only reason World War I really happened is because there was a revolution. There has to be an upheaval, and they're working with that.
And that's why they're like intentionally provoking us right now, like with all this stuff going on in the media. Like they want to get people riled up. They're trying to get people to fight back and turn on one another. And
they want us to destroy each other. That's what they want. They want us to destroy each other. They want us to hate each other. That's why they're planting fake bots onto social media. That's why they're paying protesters to destroy things and pretend that they're on your side.
The bots are out of control. Like I don't think anyone actually has a clear picture of how many like bots there are.
It's easy to fall for it.
It's very easy to fall for it. You're probably arguing with a bot in the comment section right now. Like it's 80 to 90% bots. It's completely controlled. I know it is because I've been making videos for a while now, and I'm starting to figure out like who's real and who's not. And I get tricked too. I'm not claiming to be the all-knowing or anything, but I do have a good understanding of how many bots are on these apps. And all politicians in the elites, they all pay for these combat bots to go into these social medias and defend them. If you say something bad about Trump, Elon, Hillary, anyone really, any celebrity or anything, they all have bots that will come into the comment section immediately and start to defend them. and defend the narratives, whatever the narratives that they're pushing. And these bots will also help you land on conclusions that they want you to have. Like you're not drawing any conclusions. Like you're being drawn to these conclusions. So it's very hard to explain even like fully what exactly we're trying to say. But we have some notes here that we're gonna read. We just know that like the person in power, whoever is a person in power, there's always someone above them and above them and above them until you finally reach the very top, which we believe to be is some type of non-human. That's the only explanation for...
Everyone needs a leader until there's something that doesn't need a leader. It just doesn't... Maybe our human brains can't understand it, but I think as we go up the ladder, these families get less and less and less human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe with our a reset that we've had, something happened that involved like a non-human and procreated with a human and kind of created... I don't know. I literally have totally out of my...
It's possibly something that we're not able to comprehend, really.
There's
or
so
put into
much.
Words.
I don't think people understand. I think people are very confident about human intelligence. And not for nothing, we are smart, but we are not that smart.
You're only as smart as you believe you like. You can only reach a certain point as a human, and then anything beyond that, like...
There's so much that we can't comprehend.
Yeah. So it's pretty ignorant to believe that you know a single thing about why you're here.
We don't have the answers. We don't have the answers to the most important questions of life. And that's the entire reason why they try to provide you with answers so that you feel comfortable. And that should tell you all you have to know about like human intelligence is the fact that it's complete. I don't care what your belief is. That's fine. You can believe whatever you want, but it's ignorant to believe that you're able to comprehend or perceive the reasoning behind your existence. Do you know what I mean? Or to be certain of it.
Yeah,
you should always be skeptical or question it.
Just keep an open mind because you could be wrong.
You can put 99% of your eggs in one basket, but keep one out. Keep one out for question. Don't put 100% of your eggs in one basket. That goes for everything. But for especially a belief system. Don't
put all your faith in the Bible, even if you're Christian, because it was still written by people. Like people that just claim to have, heard the words of God or something and they wrote it down. And here's another thing. People just keep getting more and more intelligent with each generation. So why would you assume that people thousands of years ago that wrote the Bible were more intelligent than you are? You know what I mean? If people just keep continuously getting smarter and smarter with each generation, then the people 1,000 years ago couldn't have been that smart relative to us.
Something that kind of confuses me about it too is how is it that they've destroyed all of history multiple times? There are so many gaps in humanity where history has been destroyed. These great resets that happened so many times.
Yeah, all of our history is completely made up stories.
How are you to say that the Bible of history has been destroyed multiple times since then? Again, there is nothing wrong than having a belief system. You just have to pose yourself these questions. You have to be able to question your belief system. And I think all of our brains need to be more open to other possibilities and other ideas. You'll feel a lot lighter.
All right, so we just have some notes here that we're going to read off to give you a better understanding of what we think is going on. So the royal and noble bloodlines have engineered an artificial matrix in the lower atmosphere used for mind control and mental harassment. And when we say matrix, we don't mean like a simulation.
Yeah, I don't think
we mean more of like a intentional
They
trap.
Want you to think we live in a simulation.
Yeah, that's just another psyop. So they call this artificial matrix Zion. The Zionist Sanhedrin are the mathematical or geometrical programmers of society, and this group includes priests, rabbis, imams, and occultists.
Imam.
Imam?
Imam.
I guess I said that wrong. It is done on both a mass level through HARP and radio telescopes, and also individually through electronic smart devices and their wireless frequencies. The royal and noble families use priests, rabbis, and imams to develop the algorithms and programs used for mind control. Freemasons are involved. They outsource individual targeting to occultists and hackers like Anonymous, which operate through the dark web. The black nobility are ancient Illuminati bloodlines that use the same pattern for control and just adapted through the generations. So this is basically what's happening right now, is mind control and just mass manipulation. And it's things that people just they're not even thinking about. And even if you told them this stuff, they're not going to care or comprehend this stuff or accept it, because it's too uncomfortable to even think about. And no one wants to disrupt their own comfort to let in something that could be detrimental to the way that they live.
It came from people. It came from the Illuminati.
What do you
mean?
It
came from the Zionism, Zionists. Zionism came from the Illuminati, the black nobility, the Jesuits came up with Zionism to take over Palestine, to take over Israel, to create Israel. That's what Zionism is. It's not Israelites. It's not Jews. It is something else that they created, just like Nazism, just like fascism, just like communism. They created it for this. But a few years ago, who had even heard of Zionism?
I know. Because
I'm sure
because they keep you so distracted with other things that don't matter. They don't want you knowing this stuff.
They've been killing Palestinians for decades, but no one noticed until suddenly Palestine attacked Israel, which they responded with violence to violence, and half of the people who died were by Israel's hands, and then all of a sudden it's okay to murder over 100,000 people, half of them being children, even though they made the whole thing up.
Everything, it's all just a psyop. Everything. You seriously, you don't have the exact truth about a single thing.
Zionists were created.
Where was that other page?
Zionists were created for this reason. That's what we mean about they plan ahead, they play the long game. That's what we mean. It's not 10 years ahead, 20 years ahead. It's 100 years ahead. All of these people went to Jesuit colleges with Jesuit professors, which is kind of funny. The list is... And it's the Jesuits, it's the Italian Mafia, it's the Massimos, there's crime societies, like there's so many different things before you even get to the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds really mean nothing. They're just...
They want you to think that the Rothschilds and BlackRock are responsible in controlling the world, responsible for all this bullshit. This is something that this is what we mean by they're leading you down specific paths. That's just another path that they intended for you to follow.
They are not the end of the line. They're the beginning of the line.
These lies are layered, like, very heavily. So there's really so many things to connect right now, but it would take way too long to try and describe everything that we want to talk about, but we'll just read some more of this for you. So the royal and noble bloodlines and some branches of the military have neural brain-computer interface technologies. Some of this was developed by the Human Brain Project, which was financed by the European Union. They can basically plug their minds into computers and then run programs like Genesis and Neuron, which are biological and neurological simulators that are really intended to hack the human brain and psychology.
Physiology.
Hack the human brain and physiology. The Jesuit-educated James Bauer created Genesis. Modern electronics have been designed to emit these frequencies, which is a violation, I guess, of the Fourth Amendment. What they're really saying right there is your phones. They're talking about your phone giving off frequencies to either make you have specific thoughts or make you feel a specific way.
They're operating through systems like Windows, iOS. They have the ability to do that. If you're doing something that they don't like, you're going to find yourself very irritated, feeling sick. Like,
this is why I'm so irritated
I've
all the time.
noticed, I said that to him earlier, like, when he's making a lot of videos and on his phone a lot.
When you're talking in a specific way, the AI inside your phone is very advanced, and it detects this stuff, and it'll send out a frequency to alter your mood.
It's not just like you're talking about something and then an ad will pop up for it later in the day. That's weird. Nobody likes that. But it just proves to you that it's listening.
And that's just another psyop, because they want you to think that that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
They want you to think that, like, oh, our phones are listening. It gave me this ad. Everything something is I was listening. Thinking about.
Your TV is listening.
That's still just a psyop, because the function of what it's actually doing is far worse.
I blame a lot of your moods on your phone.
So they're using Genesis software, Neuron software, Brian software, and Nest software through electronics which function through all operating systems like Windows and Linux. Genesis claims it is for a simulation of neuron systems ranging from subcellular components and biochemical reactions to complex models of single neurons, simulations, or large networks and systems level models. However, its simulator is a cover for hacking the human body. They're literally hacking into your body through electromagnetic
we're electric,
coming from your phone and computers.
The human body is electric. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, isn't that funny too, how you can literally be brought back to life by electricity?
Because like, we're
what's
electric.
That thing? What is that called?
The paddles.
The paddles. Like, your body can literally be electrocuted back to life.
We are electric.
Doesn't that say a lot?
All of our pain receptors and the way our brain works, the way our body fires signals, it is electric. We're made up of electricity. So that's why it's so
Which
important.
is weird too, because they say we're mostly water. So you'd think that would like not make sense. So anyway, the satellite interceptor systems are also running on similar programs which can target victims with radio and electromagnetic frequencies. Merlin is a radio telescope system named after a wizard and managed by Brian Bosher, which is running biochemical hacking programs developed by the Freemasonic members of the Royal Institute and Royal Society, which are covertly working with the Science and Technology Facility Council. So it's a lot of stuff to go over and think about, but this isn't something that's made up. This is what's happening. And it's stuff people are not aware of, and they're not going to even care about if you tell them, because they're just going to say, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And yeah, you're right, but you can at least become aware of it and accept the things that you're being told.
We're not asking you to do anything about it.
No, we're just making people aware.
I know that there's nothing that I can do about it.
We have nothing to gain by talking about the things we talk about. We could easily get a lot more views if we just go, oh, did you look at this video of Erica? Can you believe, like...
And talking about, like, the world news.
Just current events. Yeah. That's the easiest way to get views, is talk current events. But don't say it's fake or anything. Just talk about what the news was talking about. And every single video will go viral. But you notice how I don't do that on here or on my TikTok? And I strictly talk about controlled opposition and bringing truth to light and exposing lies, because that's what we care about.
And you don't care about making money and getting views.
I don't do it for the money. I care about people and people becoming aware. Mass awareness and truth is the ultimate goal.
Because if there's one thing we can do, because obviously this is so far gone and it's been happening for all of human history, there's nothing we can do. There is no war we could wage against them, except for the war of truth and exception.
Well, the more people that become aware of this stuff, you sort of take some of their power away.
Yeah, it's the war of awareness.
When people are starting to make you feel like you're crazy about something, then you're most likely getting close to being on the right path. All right, so I think that's as much as we're going to talk about for today, but we have a lot more from these notes to go over, but we'll have to go over it in one of the next episodes. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to follow here and on TikTok, and we'll see you in the next one.